don't know me, my name is Mike Lesser. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I am the artistic director of the Playground Experiment, and thank you for being here. For those of you that don't know, we are currently in New York City, the ancestral land of the Munsee Lenape people. The PGE acknowledges that wherever we are in this country, we are occupying stolen land, and we honor and respect the indigenous people that once lived here, as well as the indigenous people who continue to live here and contribute to our society. Welcome. I can't see any of you, but I know you're there. Thank you so much for being part of our 5th festival. Matt, I might mess you up a little bit. I might ask you a couple things. Welcome to our 5th festival. For those of you that are new to who we are as the PGE, or the Playground Experiment, we are a new play development company that started 8 years ago in the back of a coffee shop. And we've been working hard to develop new plays about 5 years ago, because this is our 5th festival. Yes, in 2019, one of the things that we realized that we thought was missing from the landscape of theater was authentic stories about real people and many stories. So we started the Faces of America Monologue Festival with that idea. And at that point, we had 125 submissions. We did 29 monologues that year for the first time in the crane, in the rain. If you were there, you remember that rainy day. And those who came out, thank you. Last year we had over 550 submissions for the same festival. This year we said, you know what, we're going to shorten the window. We're going to have less, and we had 450 submissions. But to get these wonderful 25 monologues that you're going to see tonight. Yes, you can clap. Standing next to me is my cohort for this evening. Started out as one of our writers from Festival number 1, and I was like, you're a good organizer. So he is our festival coordinator, and this is Ollie Fielding. Ollie, just give him a little heads up on how the festival became what it happened this year.
So when we get the submissions in, they all have to be read, and they are all read twice. So we submit your monologues as they come in to 2 different writers that are in a paired team. They don't know who each other is, and they don't know who the writer is. They just read it blind. And then they mark it, and we look at it, and we take the best ones, and we send it to 2 different writers and have it read again. So each monologue makes it then through 4 readers, and we take the best of those, and then the final selection committee, which is comprised of 4 people, we select the best 25 from that group, and those are the 25 that you see tonight. So it's a pretty intense process.
So that being said, give a huge thank you to our readers and our selection committee who read all of those.
I think we had 18 readers to get through all those monologues.
So that being said, can we just bump up the house lights just a little bit? If you have a lanyard on you and your name is a director, please stand up. Give it up for our 5 directors for the evening. And sit down. It's a stand-up, sit-down game. If you have a lanyard and yours says writer, please stand up. They're not 25 here because they're writers from all across the country. Writers, turn to our little cameraman back there. Give it up for Dartman. And give applause to the writers who are not here tonight for watching their work. You can sit down now, writers. That was your exercise. I also teach Pilates upstairs. Feel free to take lessons. We are super excited. Is that what I'm looking at my list? So I thank them. All of our volunteers, all of our people that helped us, thank you for them. We want to also thank the West Side Y and the Marjorie Deane Theater, who have been a blessing for us, as now we are the resident theater company here and have grown. So thank them and everybody involved. And you can see a lot of our thank yous if you download our digital program. Feel free to do that throughout the evening.
Can we cue up the slide? Download the program.
Technology!
Go. go. There you go, pge.com/FOA5, and you can download the digital program.
There's so many things. Give you the order. A couple of announcements about tonight. There's a thing called sickness that happens in the world, and some of our actors got a little on the ill side. So, in PGE fashion and theater fashion, some of the monologues will be done by video. Technology. Also, throughout the evening, there will be other videos being presented. Those faces and those words are your writers and directors' voices, so you can get to see them, and then you can talk to them later. Did I have anything else I was supposed to say?
Yes.
I did.
Cue up the next slide.
Oh, see? That's why I have him. Oh, yes!
We need to thank the LMCC
Yes!
for their support. Without their generosity, we would not be able to make tonight possible.
And if you're here, please, thank you.
And next slide.
Oh, I know that's why I've hired you. Yes!
We are also donating some of the proceeds from tonight and from the sales of the book to the National Coalition Against Censorship.
Yeah.
And this is charity.
Can I jump in on that?
Yes.
I forgot to mention that because every year when we first started this festival, we also realized that yes, every theater company raises money for themselves, but we thought that why don't we raise money for other organizations that are out there that are doing hard work in the landscape of Faces of America. So the first year we did the ACLU, the second year was Black Lives Matter, third year was the Native American Rights Fund, last year was the Transgender Law Center, and this is our selection with our selection committee this year. If you don't know what they do, they work with pretty much every acting, writing union that's out there to help gather and create some wonderful work against censorship. So thank you for supporting us and supporting them. So thank you for being here for that. You can clap. Okay, wait. You gotta get practice all this clapping. These actors, they got a lot of work to do here. You gotta practice on that. Yeah?
I think we're done.
I think we're done. Yeah. Oh, there is a word that you need to listen for. Forgot that. 3 things. There was a part of. See what happens when you don't sleep. And we did this for you, for art. When our monologues were submitted, there were 3 things that were a requirement. 1, it had to be under 2 minutes. Pull out your stopwatches, people. 2, it had to stick with our theme of Faces of America. And 3, there had to be a word. Every year we pick a new word. This year the word is renewal. So listen for the word, listen for the work. Actors, writers, we are so happy that you're here. Directors, friends, Romans. Thank you. Again, enjoy the evening, and I'll see you later.
What I think Faces of America means to me should be everyone,
equity, humanity, and inclusion.
give me strength,
Courage, individuality, truth.
You're not alone.
You know why more people don't read? Librarians. Librarians are always giving you the once-over, the They know everything about you. It's right there on their screen. Every book you ever checked out. Push. Genderqueer. Lost Connections. Uncovering the real causes of depression. Toxic Parents. Oh, honey, is there something you want to tell me? Yeah. When is the book due? And can you please speak a little softer? We're in a freaking library, jeez! You'd think that would have been the end of it. No more libraries for me. You're not judging me. I'm not what I read. I tried to stop, but I couldn't. I didn't have enough money to buy my own books. Plus, I had to read. My parents spoke very little English, and they depended on me. I had to read a million contracts and give advice. Sign or not to sign. Fight or not to fight. I had to get up to speed on tenant-landlord rights, employment laws, product warranties, loan disclosures. Talk about dull reading. That's why I branched out to other books. I needed to know there was another life out there. And whoa, suddenly I never wanted to leave the library. I guess that's why there are librarians. To kick you out. Make sure you go home. Except, I never wanted to go home. One day, around closing time, this librarian calls me over. She says, I have some books for you. Seriously? For me? I noticed you're a voracious reader. I borrowed a lot of books to keep her guessing. But I guess there was no fooling her. The Bluest Eye. Invisible Man. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. The Midnight Library. My voice cracked. Can I set these up for automatic renewals? No. No? No way I can finish all these. You don't understand. My schedule depends on my parents' schedule. My parents expect me to get straight A's. I can't pay late fees. Relax. I'm giving these to you. They're gifts. Gifts? Why? I see, and I like what I see. That's why I love books. And librarians. Please read.
Smoke in mirrors, burning in crematory rituals around the world, and the myth of conservation. Hell of a title for a dissertation, right? That's what it's like being a graduate student in America right now. A whole bunch of smoke and mirrors. I'm just reading and researching death practices and ecotourism and ecoterrorism around the world and making shit up about what it could mean for the future of the environment or palliative care or afterlife philosophy. But will it ever amount to anything? This is the only thing I've ever been good at. Reading stuff and thinking about stuff and writing about it and overthinking about it. You don't think I know how irrelevant a doctorate in folklore and thanatology is in the grand scheme of things? What am I going to do after graduation? What kind of a postdoc or job can you get outside of academia? We're all just imposters, suffering under this delusion that what we think and what we write is going to contribute something to the world. But most of the time, I'm teaching intro to anthropology that freshmen have to take, but don't care if they pass because these soft sciences are being phased out of the core. I'm creating AI-generated papers and making lesson plans that go obsolete in weeks. And I'm organizing adventures with friends and swiping right on literally anybody. Because I know that if I stop doing things, if I stop moving and just sit still for a second, then I might have to start worrying about my unsurmountable debt, or that overdue interlibrary loan renewal, or the plants that I can't keep alive, or about whether I'm smart enough for this school, or cool enough, or healthy enough, or kind enough, or whether my male colleagues think that my work attire makes me look too young, or my male students thinks it's too sexy. In the Philippines, the dead person is bathed and dressed and propped up in the chair, and a lit cigarette is put in their mouth. And in South Korea, ashes of the deceased are compressed into gemstones, and people can wear them as jewelry. And in Buddhist cremation rituals, the ashes and bones of the deceased are collected in a tray, and their family members take large, giant ceremonial chopsticks and pick up pieces of the bone and put them in the urn. But what if I don't know how to use giant ceremonial chopsticks? I guess we'll have to start small.
Today, the teacher had the damn nerve to ask me if my family knew about recycling. Took all the power in my body to fix my resting bitch face into an acceptable stare and say, yes, Dominicans invented it. My mom and her aunts are the queens of repurposing. In our apartment, empty Bustelo cans become planters for cilantro and romero they insist on growing to remind us of the country they left. Praying as they sink their fingers into the soil for a harvest of herbs, but also for the children raised here. May we inherit the memories of their home. Empty tubs of parquet are upcycled into Tupperware that'll hold the rice we will eat for the next 5 days, creating new meals in what y'all like to call fusion, where we reinvent the leftovers that'll become the food that we eat throughout the week. Cookies in those blue Danish tins you buy at Christmas hold sewing kits, safety pins, and buttons that we use to mend the clothes that we pass on to the cousins that follow us into these cold, overcrowded Manhattan streets that promise stability and yes, they're trying to deal with the ebb and flow of having crossed an ocean into this unknown. I wanted to hem her up, scream that we learn renewal not as a socially acceptable act to save space in landfills or for influencers to post on social media on Earth Day, Dominicans are modern day hunters, gatherers, and upcycle masters. We learn to make magic, resurrecting and reshaping life into what was left behind or left for dead. We create whole-ass living rooms where we celebrate birthdays and graduations for generations to come using chairs and end tables left on empty sidewalks by those that changed their decor just to match the season. With our lives upended, we immigrants are seen as an invasive species here, when all we want to do is take root on these concrete streets. And maybe one day return to El Campo, renewed, refreshed, maybe even a little better than we left it.
When I left for college, my mom said she'd hoped I'd find myself. Like some rare breed of penguin or something. I guess I didn't consider myself lost at the time, so I thought it was a pretty weird thing to say. 4 weeks into college, I had this massive realization. Maybe she was onto something. Maybe I was a little lost. Everyone talks about college as this time for renewal, for growth, for rediscovery. Well, I renewed my sense of self by coming out as absolutely queer as fuck in November. I grew about 15 pounds horizontally, thank you, microwave ramen. And I discovered that although I kind of hated this new version of myself, my mom didn't. She accepted all of these beautiful new changes. And because she accepted them, Okay, I'm not gonna come out and say I accepted them all right away. But I did find this version of myself that I never thought I would. I found this Asian American, non-binary, pansexual, mid-sized person that I'm learning to love every day. Admittedly, not as groundbreaking as some rare breed of penguin. But still. Pretty fucking amazing.
Excellent question. Glad you asked. Sure, you're the millionth person to do so, but you're the first to get this response. Stock answer. I made Lord Nemezalpan the way he is because, oh, say it with me, It was a different time. Come on, say it with me. It was a different time. Real answer. I wrote him as a pederast who murders and feeds on young boys because that's what I thought gay people were like. Why did I think that? Because that's what I was taught by my parents, my teachers, the media, society. That's what you learn growing up in the 60s. Do I still believe it? Of course I don't. So why don't I change it? Until now. Stubbornness. But these days, amid the renewal of fascist fervor, fanatics want to use my writing as a testament that all queer people are monsters. Huh? And because I refuse to sanitize the character, the cult of the proudly offended are insisting they'll change it themselves. To both, I say a resounding, the fuck you will! If I permanently whitewashed Nemazalvin, no one will ask. You wouldn't have asked why. And the question needs to be asked because the answer is ugly. The history is ugly, and everyone needs to know that that ugliness was there. And why? So, I am proud to announce that I am writing an amendment to add an afterword that will address all of this in a new amendment, in a new printing. It'll be on the website, so don't buy a new copy. I'm also in the midst of editing another amendment. Of course, there will be yet another afterword explaining what's been changed. What I have changed. Aren't you glad you asked? Hey, both copies will be available by Christmas. Who's next?
What does the Playground Experiments Faces of America project need to be? Visibility.
Experiencing other lives.
Bravely sharing stories. Creativity and inclusivity.
How do I feel about being included in this year's PGE Monologue Festival? Well, first of all, I feel honored. I feel dandy. I feel enchanted.
No, love is possible, I just haven't met the right man. Because I confused lust for love. I had this desperate need to be desired, fucking like 3 or 4 guys a night. The more guys wanted me, the more I was loved, right? But they didn't want me, they wanted my body, my mouth, my ass, my cock. It was like I was this collection of body parts that didn't add up to anything. Ugh, that loneliness was unbearable. I just wanted to be loved. But on those rare occasions when a totally nice guy would show me more than just a fleeting interest, I booted him out. Swipe left, next, delete. was like a gerbil wheel of sex and shame. I didn't even hesitate. I just thought that rejection was just part of the gay lifestyle. 2 years ago, New Year's Eve, I'm sitting in a crowded gay bar, the lone papi chulo, again. All that manic happiness, that desperate gay swirl of renewal and cologne and armpits. And I'm sitting alone, crying in a corner, searching for someone, anyone on Grindr, Manhunt, Daddy Hunt. Then, this older man, about 50, but sexy, stands next to me, and at midnight he grabs me and he kisses me. Deeply. Wow. I am stunned. He chose me. He is kissing me. And then he wraps me up like he's been waiting for me my entire life. Then he turns to the guy next to us, who's been watching us make out this entire time. And he leans in, and he says to this guy about me, "Yeah, I know that I can do better." And the guy looks at me like, "Are you just gonna take that shit?" And I do. I do take it because I agree with him. He can do better. I can barely stop myself from sobbing. I throw my scarf around my hand and I just walk home in that blizzard. Tears are freezing my eyelashes shut. Why is it harder to just be yourself than suck someone's cock?
I'm so sorry. I never meant for you to find out this way. I wanted to tell you, but I wasn't sure how you would take it. You know, I mean, it's one thing to say that you are a feminist and you support women's rights and body autonomy, but do you really? I mean, not you, but how do I really know, you know? Sorry. Kind of all over the place right now in case you can't tell. Sorry. Maybe we should take a break. Not that kind of break, but the kind where I go outside and get some fresh air and give you some time and give myself some time and I'm just standing here rambling. I'm gonna go outside. Wait, why am I going outside? Why me and not you? You were the one who was rambling through my phone. You were the one that was reading my text messages. You invaded my privacy. I did nothing wrong. You were the one in the wrong. Why am I apologizing? I did what I had to do. In Arkansas, you can't be pregnant and a rape victim. You have to make a choice. And I made my choice at 18. I was 18. I didn't ask for it. It wasn't my fault. Hell, I wasn't dressed in slutty clothes. I wasn't out alone at night. It wasn't even dusk. The nurse did my rape kit, and then she looked at me and she said, "You have two options. You can either continue with legal proceedings pregnant, and he can file for custody, because apparently there's this law in Arkansas where rapists can do that, and they commonly do because avoiding rape charges and to prove that something good came out of it. Or," she said, "you can never mention the rape at all. Go to another state, farther away the better, and get an abortion. Because my rapist can sue me for killing his child if I still press charges." Those were the options presented to me at 18. I was 18. I did what I had to do to survive. I survived. That's all that matters, and I'm not sorry of what I did. Because I did what I had to do to the best of my knowledge, and I did it to protect myself. I think you should leave. I have no interest in the renewal of our relationship.
I had to have the exterminator back. A young fellow didn't know his job. It's summer. The bugs want air conditioning too. So this guy says, I get it, I'm an old timer. And he tells his age. And I say, I'm older than you, really. But I don't consider myself an old timer. More like a fine wine. Grown to near perfection. If I was perfection, I couldn't afford me. Just chit-chat. So then he got nostalgic. He asks me, what's your favorite decade? I like the 60s, but I don't want to say that because once I do, there could be all kinds of assumptions. So, and this is a time where like everybody's looking to get a hold of your personal information. Like, when are you going on vacation? Or your email's been hacked. Please click here to verify that it was you. So, favorite decade. How there were wars, the Challenger shuttle, my dad was sick in the 90s, 9/11. I'm no fool, so I said, oh, how do you mean? Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, or wait? And he laughed, told me his favorite decade was the 60s, said he blamed everything on the bossa nova, which he proceeded to dance then and there like he was stomping on roaches. I haven't listened to music in ages. Except for Paul McCartney, who never stopped. But the old songs, bewitched, bothered, and bewildered. If they asked me, I could write a book. Yeah, now those are songs. Oh, my best decade. I guess I'm still hoping for one. You know, when things are calmer, I would have been great in the 40s. And that's when I realized I wasn't even born then. And that's when I asked him out to lunch. I know! My heart came through my chest. I thought he was going to have to call an ambulance. Haven't seen a bug since.
Some said we were sinners, an abomination. There were acts of kindness, sure, but more often fear, anger, and neglect. Miles was the last to die. Well, that's not strictly true. But soon after, they found the pills that helped a lot of us survive. Before that, it was a death sentence. Many people didn't care. They just looked the other way. I scattered Miles's ashes at the base of a tree in the wilderness where we used to hike. A tree we'd long admired, ancient and indestructible. Our tree. 24 years I visited our tree on the anniversary of Miles's death. Then the next plague hit, and we all stayed home. And again, there was a lot of fear, and way too much anger and neglect, and too little kindness. Nearly 1 million perished this time before they found the shot that helped us all survive. And when it was safe again, I went to visit Miles. I knew about the wildfires, but I wasn't prepared for what I found. Our tree was gone, and all the trees around it. Each just a charred remembrance. Acres were dotted with saplings. Hope of renewal. But the wind that once sang through the ancient trees was now dry and hot and tuneless. Miles isn't gone, I know. His ashes mingle forever with the ashes of his tree, our tree. Some may have scattered in that wind, but he's here too. But the earth is on fire. And still there's not enough fear and way too much anger and neglect. And no pill or shot will help any of us survive this next catastrophe. We all look the other way. I miss the music of the trees.
My mother was a force who knew who she was and how to live, and never spent too much time on a couch, even when she was the age that I am, nearly 80. Oof. It hurts saying my age. Not hurts, just chokes. Not chokes, stabs, jars, shocks. But I'm still here, sitting dormant on this couch. One day, my mother, way over 80, stopped moving and was still for a moment. Only for a moment. And then was gone. That was it. There was no waiting around and hanging out. It was living and then not living. Why can't I have that? I'm envious of her. She moved and marched and shouted at everyone, at me, my father, her lovers, her friends, but was still adored for her will, her power. I thought I was like her, but apparently I'm not. I tried to emulate her, but I failed. But don't tell anyone because the world thinks I'm invincible. Let's keep it our secret that I'm not so tough, that I'm weak at times. I no longer watch television as I sit here. I don't even spy on my ex-husband and his third wife living across the street. I don't even have my binoculars to spy on them. Maybe she hid them. Yes, she. I have a guest, not a friend, but a stranger, playing the role of my lifeline who lives in my apartment and decides when I should awake and when I should sleep and when I should eat, and when I should pee, and when we should go out for a ride in my wheelchair, and when I should bathe, sponge bathe. I'm told it's much easier. I envy her too, for her power, her will, her being, her mobility, her life. So much of my life has become a liability. I'm easily broken. My bones snap like twigs on branches and break. Oh, my luck, but not for me. Not yet, maybe tomorrow, but not yet, not tonight. If I asked my housemate to join me on this couch, she may, but I really don't want to ask her. We're not friends. I'm her employer, and she's my lifeline, and that's it. I miss myself before this. I've sat on this couch for hours trying to remember everything in my life, everything before the final moments of when all of my friends from the past left me. And I let it go. I've let so much go because I want peace. But what have I gotten in return? Is this my renewal? Is this my 3rd, 4th, 5th, 100th time to be better? Maybe it is. Maybe it's not over. Not yet.
What Faces of America means to me in 3 words: acknowledgement, community, and friendship.
Connection, community, and communication.
Conversations, creativity, community.
Artistic community power. Tough for 3 words, but I'll say learning, humanity, expansion.
Hi, my name is Manuel.
Hi, Manuel.
And I'm this sounds so stupid. You know what's frustrating? Is how socially acceptable this addiction is. I had a stressful day, I need a hard drink, and people are like, oh my gosh, friend, let's get you drunk. In college, I drank so fucking much. Seriously, my last week of college was spent drinking every day. And I slowed down because I thought that was too much. Though my friends thought it was normal because I was celebrating a major milestone. And then COVID happened, I ain't got anywhere to go, so I'm gonna have some drinks. But when things started opening up, I kept drinking. I kept drinking. When things started opening up, I kept drinking. Then, you know, I talked to one of my friends about it, and he was like, hey, bro, we're Mexican. It's in our culture. I was like, you know what? You're right. We're known for cerveza, tequila, mezcal. And don't forget the white lady's favorite, margaritas. And every man in my family drinks a couple beers a day. And not all of them are alcoholics anyway. I again accepted this was normal. Then we went from a bottle every 2 weeks to a bottle a week. It wasn't till I woke up, fully dressed, passed out on my bed, with no recollection of what had happened the previous night. I woke up in a panic. I walked around the apartment searching for clues. Then I looked at the bottle. A 750 milliliter I had purchased earlier that same day. 3/4 of it gone. I don't even remember serving myself that much. I wasn't out partying. I wasn't out at a bar with friends. I was home, eating dinner while watching a movie. That's all I was doing. But that was the moment. I had to accept it. I have a problem. My life needed a restart, a sort of renewal. Here I am now, trying to figure this thing out. My name is Manuel, and fuck. My name is Manuel, and I have a drinking problem.
You're just overwhelmed.
You're just overwhelmed.
You're just overwhelmed.
You're just overwhelmed.
Yeah, but I've been this way since I was 10. I mean, I've been poor since the moment I was born, so it's just my normal, I guess. I was constantly on edge wondering whether my family would have anything else to eat that wasn't just rice and beans, if I'd be able to afford to hang out with my friends, and the consistent uncertainty every time my mother's contract was up for renewal. What do people even mean when they say you're just overwhelmed? Oh, being overwhelmed, that's such a bad thing. I shouldn't take on anything else. But I always find a way to push through. Yay for me! I've tried helping myself by changing everything about me. Talking to a therapist, talking to my friends, blocking my sister's Facebook profile, waking up even earlier in the morning, eating salads, following Instagram self-care accounts, but then they literally quoted Charles Manson. So not doing that. Having a work-life balance and prioritizing my well-being over having money, which really doesn't work because if I don't have money, I can't be well, so. I've tried finding God every year since I was a kid. I wanted so desperately to believe in something because I thought, that might give me answers. Oh, the trauma is just a test? This all makes so much sense now. Okay, cool, got it. Even when my second family would say a prayer before meals, I wanted so desperately to believe in what they said, but I could never bring myself to say any of the words. I wanted to be a part of something bigger than myself. I wanted to feel God enter my body and heal me. I wanted to weep for joy. I wanted to be overwhelmed. I wanted things to make sense. I'm always operating at a deficit, and people are like, Ray, look at what you've been able to accomplish. Imagine what I'd be able to accomplish if I wasn't always overworked, or kept from a good diet, or rest, if I came from a good family. Oh, and if I wasn't always constantly battling trauma. Oh, and if someone fucking paid me. I'd be unstoppable.
You're not listening. No, you're not listening to what I'm telling you. Because you are just sitting there with that blank look on your face, staring at me. And now she's gone. Telehealth. And you're back. No, we do not need to add more time to today's session, but if I may offer you some friendly advice, upgrade your internet. Do you have any idea how frustrating this is? What? You're on mute. Mute! Mute! She's an idiot! Oh, that you heard? Because you just don't have it together. You know what? I'm done. This is our last session. Because you were supposed to be helping me manage my anger, and instead I am more frustrated after these sessions than I was when that guy made me mow him down with my scooter. You know, you could just say that I completed all of my sessions. Who would even know? Well, then I'll just tell the judge you suck. Are you crying? Why are you crying? Wait, isn't therapy supposed to make me cry? I don't know really if you suck or not. You're my first therapist. I was just angry. Why don't we reboot? Okay, start again. What made you want to become a therapist? That's beautiful. I thought that you were just going to say, I want to help people, but you want to rebirth us. All right, take us through the process of renewal so that we can let go of guilt and shame. Well, then I guess you don't suck. Because I don't feel any guilt or shame about running that guy down. Thank you. Okay, I believe we're done here.
I work close to a death. I'm in the room with it for my job. And I've heard people say when you give someone permission to die, it encourages them to move on or off depending on how you see things. But sometimes it doesn't work the way you think. When I was a NICU nurse, I took care of one patient, one baby, for 12 hours. Mom's not allowed to hold the baby because, well, he's got a lot going on. I was the only person who touched that baby, and it had been long months, multiple scares, multiple codes. It was time. Docs said it was time. Nothing was changing. Baby was ready. Mom was ready. Mom wanted to hold her baby. He had a breathing tube and was attached to a vent, so it took many grown people to get the equipment arranged. We took him out, and Mom held her baby, and Mom said goodbye. She said to go, that it was okay to go. I had my hand on her shoulder. We were both crying.
We were there a long time. Nothing happened. Nothing was happening. The mom looked up at me and said, "I have to pee." And I said, should we put him back? And that baby, that tiny little thing, who up until that very moment had been failing, did not die that day. Did not die at all, actually. Maybe he just needed to be held. And maybe, like all kids, he needed to know that whatever he did, he was loved. And his mommy would be okay, even if it broke her. But she had to pee. So she put him down and he lived. He's got a lot of problems, but he's alive. It was wild. I've seen a lot of kids die. I've never seen something like that. Yeah, so when my NICU license was up for renewal, I let it go. And now, I do this.
My default is camera off. I hate looking at my own face. Big eyes, bulbous cheeks, crooked nose, that mole with the 3 hairs that keep growing back. But more than my features, I hate that a face is assumed to be who you are. Headshot, your face. Face ID, obviously. Passport, face. Driver's license, face. Selfie. Why does my face always get to be the boss? Whatever happened to fingerprints? I don't have to stare at fingerprints. I mean, there can be some excitement and mystery to who I am if I'm not attached to these 10 little moving identifiers. Fingerprints are constant. They're already wrinkled, so I don't have to worry about them decaying as they get older. But my face, I see it all the time, and I hate it all the time. I like you, but I want to get to know you, not stare at your face. Your nose, I don't need to see it. Why? I mean, looking at my own visage every day on screen, on Zoom, during the quarantine, made me realize that my face is not me. I'm not a woman. I'm not a man. I'm both. And everything in between. And this is my renewal of me. So why? When people see my face, do they see $signs dying? Or a screaming kid at the hip? Or smell pie and hair burning? I am so much more than the stereotypes you see between my eyebrows. So no, don't FaceTime me. Ugh. Stop calling me, and please. It's too fucking stressful. We can keep texting. We can email. I will write you a letter if you would like. Because I want to get to know you in words before we're face to face. I want you to know that I am a 3-pound, beautiful brain. I don't exist in one bathroom or another. I live in the space behind the face. So, if you really think that you want to go on a first date with me, then no, I'm not going to send you a picture. You send me your dick.
He needs to get that checked out. That is not right. That is just not right. Not right at all.
3 words that I think of when I think of Faces of America are celebrating, centering, and empowering of diverse voices.
Eclectic.
Ex-gay bar.
Disco. Mermaid.
Heartbreaking. Loving, hurting, struggling.
Vibrant, forward-thinking, unhinged.
Unexpected.
I decided to take some time out, which I'm super stoked about. I just got this haircut from this Peruvian guy down on the west side. He cuts with authentic Inca yak shears. It was a steal at $200. But it was worth it, right? Hell, I'm worth it. You're worth it. Now I'm just about to buy me a taco at my local taco stand. Support the local economy, right? Pablo's from Mexico City. He was shot twice, and you can really taste it in his salsa. I mean, it's to die for. And now, me and some friends are probably going to head to the village for some shots. We found this lovely little Estonian boy that brews their own vodka out of leftover plastic, which is super cool. It's like 150% proof. It could turn you blind if you're not used to it. It's amazing. And then we'll probably head to this nightclub that just opened, put on your headphones and your blindfolds, and you dance to your own music like nobody's watching. It's immense. Of course, these days we're all super worried about our carbon footprint, so last month I flew to South America to plant some trees. Followed by a trip to a small village in Africa to help them dig an artesian well. And then I went and spent 2 months with the family in Mumbai, which was truly humbling. I mean, they had nothing and they shared it all with me. By the end of my stay, they practically had nothing to live off, which was disheartening. Somebody who's not used to the culture over there would give them some food or money or something, but that would have been highly disrespectful after their more than generous hospitality. So, I just left with a thank you. And I mean, each and every one of them was crying as I went. That's the sort of shit you just can't buy. And that's why it's meant for me to take some time out. It's because it's right now I'm supposed to give back to others. But you have to be sensible about it. You see this loose change? This can make a difference in somebody's life. Somebody who doesn't have money to buy a taco or have a $200 haircut. But if you give it to him, what does he do? He buys a taco today. Yet, if you keep the money, you buy him a taco van, he can have tacos every day. But will he be happy? No. And that's why I don't do that. I'm not the sort of dude who, you know, finds a vacation in somebody else's misery. I've seen misery with my own eyes. And those pictures have been tweeted and retweeted so many times. People love that shit, man. Okay. Peace out. And do yourself a favor. Take a vacation.
No. Don't you understand? I want to be lost and inhabit the space where neither time nor responsibility exists. A space between the wonders of the galaxy with a universe reimagined by the word no, where time is lost and so am I. I want to know more than fear, constraints, and a list of to-dos that strangle me with the thought of a no. I want to be loved in the thought of a no, and embraced in rejection, and when asked to do, act, respond, I stay still and stand at the intersection of no and peace. I want to love the thought of saying no so much that it kisses my lips, rolls off my tongue with a gift putting I in front of me. I want to know peace in no, and not carry this thought of lineage legacy, because I'm not just what I carry, or my family's history, or ancestors' dreams to fill. I'm not just a glass ready to be filled with more than it can bring. No means not me, because I'm not just your fulfillments, I'm just simply me. Because I may not always compromise, left taken for granted. No, I will not do as you assume of me. No, I will not act out your expectations. No. Do you understand me? No is the only thing I've held on to protecting my peace. So when you ask me, what is it I bring to the table? The word no. No. I will be freed as the words spill out of my tongue, because no is my renewal, a life rebirthed, a day restored, time non-existent to my existence. And I, sitting peacefully in the moment reborn.
Is that I fight all the fucking time. When I was in 5th grade, a boy named Neil saw my friend, so I trapped his elbow between 2 desks and pushed them together hard. He screamed. When I was in 7th grade, a boy blocked my exit so I would be late to class, so I shoved him into the door frame. He bled. When I was in high school, my teacher, Mr. Stewart, assigned a project that was unfair to students of lower income. I led a strike. Empowered. When I was in college, a man decided I was crazy. So I proved him correct. He avoided me. When I was an employee, a man started to whip his body to take up all the space. He gave me orders that were outside of my ability, and his breath stank like ego and piss, and I walked out of my job and left him to fail. And he embarrassed himself. The thing about me is that I fight all the fucking time. And I get tired. I cry a lot. With every fight, I lose a little part of myself. It's just not sustainable. And I forget who I'm fighting for. Thankfully, I have friends who help pick up the pieces, who will give me a bed when I'm homeless, a meal when I'm unemployed. Friends who will drive me to the beach and then drive me back home when I can't stop screaming. Friends who know I fight all the fucking times. They are experts at the recovery process. With every fight, I lose a little part of myself. After a friend, I gain renewal. I laugh. A lot. The thing about me is that I fight all the fucking time. It's my job. But I fight for us.
I was at the doctor for a physical and caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. Yikes! Is that me? I blurted out loud. When my body was appreciated by others as I grew up, I failed to understand why. No matter how many people told me that I looked good, good looking failed to reflect itself back from the mirror at me. Perhaps this was so because my maternal grandmother became very critical of my shape when I was about the age of 8. And what I couldn't, and to this day still can't fathom, is why. She was very curvaceous, especially around the tummy, hips, and butt. So I wonder who she saw in her mirror, Dorothy Dandridge? Plus, she was a food pusher of a grandma, feeding me and my siblings from the moment we walked in the door. Oh my goodness! To eat or not to eat caused me to wade through a tsunami of emotions. And what I finally consumed only added pounds to my roundness. Plus, we were told to eat all the food on our plates because there were starving children in the world. Yikes, is what I say to that clean plate arm. Overeating does not do a body good, or a mind for that matter. But alas, it's too late to regurgitate. And you can't turn back time to reshape the shape that became the me I see in the mirror. But my body is a work in progress, and I do love it. But I must confess that I'm still managing the process of being in like with it. Yet, with every glimpse of a curve or a new roll, comes a renewal of appreciation for the lusciousness that is this divine temple that deserves more than a yikes upon sight.
Hi, Bunny. Oh. Bye, Bunny. See, he's just scared of us because we're people. You're right, Bunny. People aren't always nice. I still haven't changed my name officially. Courthouse officially. It's just like I finally figure out this lifelong enigma. Why I've always felt so out of place. Finally figured out how to breathe. How to have peace with myself. This big cathartic moment of finally everything makes sense. And now I have to pay a judge $400 just to say I am who I say I am. It would be easier to renew a driver's license. It's small and dumb, but there's just no end, you know? It's like all of those feelings that used to be inside, all of the denial and fear and chaos. Now it's all out there, reflected in every corner, reminding us that this world doesn't have scaffolding to hold us. Language, law, the fucking bathroom, like why does anyone care where I piss? Sorry, I don't have many people to talk about this with. But it is getting better. It's so much better. I mean, you think things in life you just have to swallow, you know? And then things you never thought could change just lift away. Well, I mean, you know. But it's like, okay, there are true things that you can't comprehend, right? You can't see, you just know. Big, beautiful, important things. And some people go their whole lives thinking that everything true is something you can see or buy or put language to. And like, my name is still my name, $400 or not. And I think there's something beautiful in that. Probably. Oh, bunny again. See, the bunny thinks we're beautiful. Listen to the bunny.
3 words that describe Faces of America are bold, resilient, community.
Made in America. Creating new space.
Centering unheard voices.
Redefining societal expectations.
Dear God, I don't know, I was raised Catholic and I ate the wafers and I dunked my hand in a lot of holy water, but Tata always had a Buddha on the altar and she rubbed his belly a lot. And there were elephants everywhere and thick-ass candles, so I was a mix of Irish Catholic and Puerto Rican Catholic, which is somewhere between Catholicism and Buddhism and Santeria and Walter Mercado, so, you know, maybe I'll just pray to Walter. Dear Walter, when am I allowed to stop listening? When my humanity is debated, do I still have to listen deeply and consider both sides of the argument? Consider both sides? Do I have to consider the belief that I don't exist or that someone else knows what's going on in here better than I do because that's how a civilized society works? Is that what I'm expected to do? Renewal of faith in the goodness of humanity? LOL. And if I don't, will they say I'm part of the problem for being unwilling to erase myself, to prioritize their comfort over my actual and authentic existence? Who gets to decide what I do with this queer body of mine? Turn the other cheek? Fuck that. Anyway, if you could let UConn win tonight, I'd really appreciate it because my bracket could use some holy help. Mucho, mucho amor. Gracias.
I asked Mama not to come, and I begged her not to bring the rubella. She showed up in a fancy new dress which was almost stylish. But the clunky shoes and her shtitel gave her away, as did her broken English and that enormous plate of arugula. We were the first to arrive, and by we, I mean the entire family. Mama, Papa, my 2 younger sisters, a family outing to the awards ceremony at the Melvin H. Block Elementary School Auditorium. I showed them to seats in the back, and when Mama said, "Why can't we sit in the front?" I stalled, and it wasn't until my math teacher showed up and saved me. She congratulated Mama and Papa, took the rugula, admired it, mispronounced it, and promised to put it on the refreshment table in the foyer. By that time, the seats in the front had filled up. So I excused myself and snuck out a side entrance. The foyer was empty. So I eyed the neat stacks of rugula. I took 2 handfuls and looked for the nearest trash can. There wasn't any. So I put the offending pastries in my pocket and tossed them behind a hedge outside. Back and forth until they were almost gone. The last batch was in my pockets. When time ran out, I was called to the stage. Would anyone notice the lumps in my pockets? No one did. In fact, the entire event went off without a hitch. Afterwards, Mama, seeing the empty plate of arugula, opined that, puffed up with pride, that everyone must have loved them. That's when I spotted the trash can. So, I hurried over and surreptitiously emptied my pockets. On the way back, Mama held my plaque tightly. The next day, she asked Papa to put it over the fireplace. A symbol of our family's renewal. I don't know if Mama saw me throw out the arugula or whether she found the crumbs on my trousers when she washed them. In the years that followed, I graduated dental school, married, fathered 3 lovely children. But I never had the courage to ask. Now, as I pull up to her house and engage the parking brake, walk up that flagstone pathway, that plate of arugula comes to mind. I've spent a lifetime trying to live that down and to make up for it, and I don't know if I ever will.
They keep saying they're going to fix that one on the end, but when do supers ever fix anything, right? Do you ever go through your dirty laundry and think about everything that happened the past week? Like on Tuesday, I wore this shirt. My co-worker complimented me on it. My father gave it to me. Ooh, I got some iced coffee on these pants when I met a friend for a coffee date on Thursday. She and I, we have opposing schedules, so coffees are really all I ever get to see of her. She told me this funny story about running into this guy she ghosted when she was walking her dog, and I took a sip, and I laughed, and then, well, it resulted in coffee stains on these pants. Worth it, though. Let's see what else we have here. We have some socks, and, oh, that's my dirty underwear. You don't need to see that. Okay, That's a shirt I wore yesterday. Yesterday is a day I'm trying not to repeat. I mean, I keep telling myself that, and then I will always eventually end up repeating days like yesterday. And, I mean, I can't quite figure it out yet how to shut up this stupid voice in my head that says to me that you'd be better off not here. I mean, I can't help that. I look at all these people and I think that I would like a piece of that, you know? Happiness. Why can't I just be happy? I have a job, I have a roof over my head, I have a friend that makes me laugh so hard that I spill coffee on my pants, and yet, laundry, am I right? I mean, every Sunday night I look at this overflowing hamper and it looks me dead in the eye, asking me if I want to renew my subscription of life for the next week. Because if I do, I better hit the laundromat. And then I think, how long will it take for them to find me? At least a week. I surely cannot leave them with my dirty underwear. That would be insult on top of injury. So I get myself down here, hit that laundry, and think about that renewal. And as I go through each moment of my life, through this cheap-ass hamper, it is suddenly Monday. Same clothes, same me. I do like to fold clothes, though. It gives me something to do. Clean clothes makes me feel held. sometimes wish someone would hold me.
Sorry, that's a lot. I gotta go. Have a nice day. No, have a great night.
It's a little black dress. You know, the one every woman has. Mine might still fit me, if I'm lucky. Wore it five years ago. I caught Jason's eyes at the school dance, which is just how, you know, every good high school sweetheart story begins, right? Yeah. Jason used to tease me because I kept it, you know, on the left side of the closet, so the first thing I saw every day. I bought this one 11 months and 2 days ago. Just 4 days after Jason was deployed to Iraq, and just 48 hours after we got married at the Army Post Chapel, because Jason's orders to deploy came so quickly. Who knew that knew that worrying your husband might die makes you so practical in preparing a wardrobe. I finally took the tags off last week so I could wear it to the graveside service. And you know what? All I could think about was how I had practiced it over and over in my head, just rehearsed being the grieving Army wife in the black dress. And then I was one. Taps playing in the distance, the 21 gun salute, every soldier looked so sharp in their dress uniforms, but you know what the cameras focus on? The widow. They never turn away from the widow in the black dress. They zoom in. Worst moment of their entire lives, their hearts destroyed, just a river of tears. They were trying so hard to dam up. Oh yeah, everybody is impressed with the precision of the honor guard as they carefully take the flag off the coffin and fold it perfectly. And then they zoom that goddamn camera right in on the widow's face, just as an Army officer slowly, gently places the American flag in her arms. And do you know what the widow has to do? She has to graciously accept this lifeless linen in place of her soulmate and somehow gather the strength to whisper, "Thank you." Because that is what the Army wife in the black dress is supposed to do. And so that's what I did. And I look at them both today, and I swear I could hear Jason laughing. He's teasing me that how happiness and pain sit side by side in my closet as if one is a renewal of the other. And you'd be asking me, hey, was it worth it to wear this one, knowing you'd have to change and wear this one? Yeah, to be honest, I don't know. And I don't know that I'll ever know.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Most fabulous femme in the queerhood. Would you be mine, since I'm divine? I walked straight to my closet, took the dress out, draped her over a chair like this, then said to her, Jess, I'm femme inquisitive. I need to ask you a couple of questions, okay? And she looked back at me. Total silence, not one word exchanged, so I exhaled. Took 2, maybe 3 steps closer, than asked, was your first time in drag the first time you feared for your life? Were you excited while terrified? Did you cry? And when you cried, did anyone hold you gently like Barbie, a white princess adored by the world? Or did they treat you like some confused, crazy black man in a dress, acting fucked up in public while shaming the culture? Because I'm assuming TV taught them what it taught me. Celebrate your queerness by hating on your blackness. So when the queer community hates you for being black, what do you tell yourself? And when the black community hates you for being queer, what do you tell yourself? Is your pain floored in the aftermath, or do you refuse to carry it out into the world? You party hardy, work your job, face this racist, transphobic, anti-black, woman-hating, oppressive, toxic society head-on, functioning one step after another for the long ladder, beyond survival, past existence, to stay alive enough to claim your success. But still, can't they see? Don't they know? You are a miracle. I already know. A living, breathing miracle. You're not supposed to be here. Your existence defies logic. I mean, name one oppression that isn't tailored, made to destroy a black trans femme queen. From the public restrooms to the healthcare system. They don't know shit about your queer power, but I do. So, this isn't Oppression Olympics or nothing, but which feels more transphobic? When they fuck up your pronouns or on purpose, or when they refuse to apologize to you afterwards? Real talk. Whenever I look into the mirror dress, I don't see my own reflection. I can't. I want to see you. I want to be you. I want your crown, femme queen, because your crown comes with thorns. So tell me everything I need to know. So when I wear a dress out in public for the very first time as a trans woman while black, I know exactly what to expect. And 3 days later, I put the dress on, I put her on, and my first time in a dress out in public got me suspended indefinitely from school. And when campus police came to put me in the squad car, they were too scared to touch me. Yeah, just imagine. Can you? Think on it. My trans identity made the cops feel so helpless, they could not touch me. Were too afraid to lay their hands on me. That spoke so powerfully to my black identity. Like seeing the cops brought down to their knees after my transness cast a spell. Black resurrection. I felt free because it was freeing. Like that same night, I saw myself in the mirror for the first time, whispering to myself over and over, I am powerful. I am meaningful. I am a miracle. While taking her off slowly, realizing she transitioned from adornment to armor, while I blossomed into my black trans femme queer power in public, so strong, even transphobic cops could not deny. Fully queerly claimed. And queerly seen, oh yes, I am a miracle too.
Peggy. Thank you all for coming to Face America number 5. So many people made this happen. Seeing seeing the reaction, hearing the reaction, seeing their work. I mean, let me tell you, these actors put this up in a week. Wow. Give it up for their directors. Seeing things like this happen makes us forget that sometimes the world is on fire. But community comes together, and that's what makes the world put out that fire. So thank you for being part of our evening tonight. A couple of things to note. Give a huge thank you to all of the staff here. You might have noticed there are 4 little piles of books over here from the past 4 festivals. All of these monologues will be available as of right now if you go to scan that code right over there. And again, some of that money will go towards the National Coalition Against Censorship. Not for censorship, against censorship. For those of you that came out tonight and celebrated either someone you knew or someone you didn't know or someone you weren't, thank you. Hope this just rose you up and reminded you that you as a humanity are people are connected. No matter where you come from, what you do, we are all one. And hopefully you walk out of these doors and you bring that with you. That being said, when you walk out the doors, if you go to the left, there is a wonderful step and repeat with the amazing Mike taking photographs. After gathering, if you would like to join us, feel free. Don't eat up all the stuff before the actors get there that they need to eat. I will ask 2 things before the evening ends. I will shout out. Give me a second. I will never forget the playwrights. Actors, after this thing, after you do it, make sure we all do a group photo at the step and repeat, and also this way I can pay you. Last thing but not least, same thing for the writers. I want all of the writers together, but before we do that, let's see who they are. All of the writers together. You notice that? Now you're in full life. In your work. Writers, honestly, thank you for submitting. Thank you for allowing us to be the bearers of your work. It's that connection with writers and stuff is what brings me as the artistic director of this company the most joy. So we hope, writers, I'm looking at each one of you in the front, that this is not the last time you play with us at the Playground Experiment. We do playwriting development, we do tons of other stuff. Also, we just like your work, obviously. Last thing, I'll give a thank you to Ollie. And Christine Lenny, who is our city manager. I can literally thank 1,000 people, but there's Bob. Fred's Bakery donated 5 trays of babka. Just saying. You're going to have to fight for half of the trays. Or me. Thank you again so much for being here. Again, if someone will be standing over here, this person over here, will be standing over here if you want to purchase any of our past books, or if you just want to scan for the future book. Thank you and have a wonderful